And welcome back to Health Wealth with my guests. And just before the break, we were talking about currency, money, real tangible assets, silver, gold, all sorts, to try and make you understand what is going on in the world today and what real wealth is. Now, we were talking about silver and gold. What we were saying is that gold is still on the earth and it's being hoarded and not used in many applications, i.e. people are wearing it as jewelry, or they've got it in bank vaults or memorabilia, things like that. But silver is actually being consumed, and the price that the silver is at the moment, you can't even mine it for that. Now, what's going on here? Well, we'll talk a little bit about what the reasons for that, but let's put it this way. If you know that gold is, let's say, $1,000 an ounce, right? You would assume that silver is going to be less. And you're absolutely right. It would be less than 1,000. How much? 15th? A 15th? A 16th? A 10th? Usually it's about a 15th. So for every 1 ounce of gold, you would probably need 15 ounces of silver. But at the moment, believe it or not, it's around the 1 to 50. So I know people who are actually selling gold and buying 50 ounces of silver. Why is this? The price is being artificially, in our opinions, and the bank's opinions and other opinions, being held low. Why? Now this is it. It's the banks and the insurance companies. What they have done is they have issued paper certificates promising to give the bearers silver. And if people were to cash those certificates in, what would happen?
It's a similar analogy to a run on the bank.
Yes.
And they don't have that silver, so this is why we're seeing that big banks are holding down and manipulating these prices. So that's where we're at with it, and it can only last so long. I mean, this year, the San Francisco Mint, for example, ran out of silver. For the first time in January this year.
Wow.
I mean, they were only ever set up to manufacture a certain amount of these 1 ounce bullion coins.
Right.
And the demand now, what I think is really interesting, this has only just started hitting mainstream media. At the end of last year, you wouldn't see anything about silver, and it's just making mainstream media, Financial Times, Daily Telegraph, of where this is their silver expected to go, 400%. I mean, here's a very conservative paper.
What's the price now of silver, approximately?
It's down about $23 an ounce.
Now, I remember it used to be $40 and $50 an ounce.
Yeah.
A few years back.
Yeah, it hit a peak, and then I think they play their game, and then bang, it's come down.
Because people were starting to cash in.
Yeah.
So they thought, oh, we can't have any of that.
Yeah.
Let's drop the silver value.
Yeah. I mean, we were talking about a store of wealth, and I think you have to look at, if we look at the 10-year growth of silver, we obviously all things go up and down and have their up and down, but I think somewhere around 700%.
Yeah, with the current drop, maybe it will be 500%.
500%.
But if it was like $30, which it was roughly for a long time, it would be roughly 700% in the last 10 years.
Really? So is inflation beating almost?
It is, absolutely, and that's the important thing.
700%. Well, inflation is like, what, 3%?
But we can't see into the future, can we? So we have to be very cautious of what we say.
We do,
but
indeed.
It was around $40, $50. It's about $22. And people are expecting it to go up to $100s, $200s, $400.
Absolutely.
I made first time ever publicly made a sort of what I see and what I believe last week at one of our presentations, and said, I think we're going to see this hit a trough. Maybe it will go to sort of $20, and then I think we will never, ever see these prices in gold or silver ever again. And it's the first time I've made a public.
Well, $20, it's nothing, is it?
It's absolutely nothing. This is a great time to buy, the perfect time to buy.
Well, it's a savings plan, isn't it?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, if you
It's
can
a
buy
savings
low,
plan.
and then eventually cash it in.
For whatever it's going to be.
Yes.
There's a great guy by the name of Mike Maloney. I think you're aware of the name Mike Maloney. Great. It has a good video that could sum up a lot of this in 25 minutes. But he talks about as the currencies run their cycle, and then historically people have been buying a house for 500 pieces of silver.
500 of these coins?
500 single ounces of just bullion silver.
Right.
So that's where that's how the landowners really dominate in these cycles of currencies. They move their money out of the currency, they put all their wealth in their silver and their gold.
Well, it's assets, isn't it?
It's
Real tangible assets.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be silver or gold, but as long as it's an asset. And
Absolutely.
But this is a quick and easy way to store, grains of rice and wheat and whatever.
Yeah.
They will go off eventually. But silver and gold,
it's easily transportable. It's a store of wealth. And I think what's important, we said before the break, was it's being consumed.
Yes.
As Robert Kiyosaki said, he's investing in the world. He's investing in something that's being consumed.
God's money, he calls it.
God's money.
God's money coming from the earth.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we're just looking, so it's used in medical. The other thing that I found it's being used in is catalytic converters for cars.
Absolutely, yeah.
And solar panels.
Solar panels.
Absolutely.
And that is just going mad.
Yes, they are.
Solar panels all over the world. Yeah. And China, I heard, couldn't get enough silver, and so they were buying coins and melting those down. I don't know if that's...
I haven't heard that.
Yes, yes. They needed so many tons for their manufacturing that they had to buy coins.
Now this is funny thing.
Yes.
You can see the price of the spot price of silver is $23 something at the moment.
Right.
But if you want to buy the silver, it's very difficult to actually buy that silver at that price, because the prices of the paper certificates for silver, that's the price, that's the spot price currently. And it's always been, it's for a long time, the real price was the price not of the real silver, but of the paper certificate saying, I owe you this amount of silver. And that's why we have these funny prices and the difference between gold and silver, and the silver being so low, because the price reflects
how many more IOUs are in the market.
This, not really one of those that Mark's holding or one of those that I have in
So what is that? That looks a very nice coin from what I can see. It's gold and silver on there, is it?
Yeah, so this is 1 ounce of pure silver, and there is a little bit of gold on that snake. So it's it's a beautiful kind of a mixture, and I love this coin, and it was sold out very quickly.
Okay, so that's the other thing. You can buy normal silver, as called bullion.
Bullion coin, yeah.
And then there's numismatic, which is the collector's item.
Yes.
Yeah.
So there's two ways of saving, is the right word, or
saving
I
in
can't say
assets.
investing, but saving for the future.
A double hedge is how I like
double
to
hedge.
Sounds
very technical. Double hedge,
doesn't it?
I cut the hedge and I make it into two, and then I got two hedges.
2 hedges, yes.
I'm sure we've got the right man for the job.
Absolutely.
Double hedge.
Double hedge.
It's a double hedge. So we're hedging against. Really, we're not doom and gloom, but we need to be realistic about what's happening, like you just said, in Turkey, and understand what's happening with our currencies, the cycle it's in. So we can hedge and we can have our money in bullion, but there's also, like Kamil says, there's this collectible market, so which compounds, as well as just the value of the silver, is going up in collectible value. So we're playing a short to medium long game and a long game as well. So
that would be a present for someone to keep as a birthday or a wedding for the future.
Yes.
Maybe. And this is general everyday
and
use,
this is and this could go into circulation or choose by the Chinese to melt down to put in their catalytic converters, whatever it may be.
I mean, they are perfect for presents, as you mentioned, but also if you had a big collection of those that you collected over years, after 20 years they would in themselves have huge value, and they could probably be 10 or 20 times more worth than you actually initially paid for them.
So how big is the numismatic market then?
Numismatic market, we found one source that said it's $120 billion.
Wow.
So if the source is correct, that's still quite a huge market for a single vertical niche.
Which is just collectors' coins.
Yeah. And the word for this is numismatic. Numismatic niche or numismatic market, yes.
Right.
Collectors market or collectible market, yes.
So I think we've spoken enough on gold and silver, and I think people have now got it. I think, if I've got it, people have got it. That, try and convert some of your paper into a tangible asset, which is gold and silver.
Absolutely.
But I don't think everyone has got the paper bit yet.
You really think?
I don't think people actually have got their head around what this currency really is. And I think we've got to sort of just explain a bit more about currency and its paper.
Okay.
Well, Kamil, do you think that's the impression I'm getting? What do you think?
Well, as you said, it would be good to teach people a little bit about this, but we only have a few minutes.
Yes.
So I think we might be better off directing people to some sources. And,
Yes.
and as Mark said, Mike Maloney is a great guy, Robert Kiyosaki,
Yes.
Donald Trump. And basically, I would like our viewers to educate. Dear viewers, please educate yourselves, because your future is at stake, and the future of your children and of your grandchildren. And it's not a complicated knowledge or education. It's something that you can learn in a few hours, in a week, and after a few months you will have a good understanding of what's happening in the market. And that's what I would like our viewers to take action, educate themselves.
I think on that, on the gold, they definitely understand, because when in our culture, when people get married, they're giving gold rings, they're giving necklaces, and then later in life, if they want to sell it, they actually do sell it and find they do get a load of money.
Yeah.
And sometimes they use that towards a house or a car or
Yeah.
something different. Now, a personal story I can tell you about myself is that I started buying gold and silver coins just before 1998. My wife and I, we started investing in silver and gold coins. And then about 2007, my first child got married. And we used a third of the coins, we sold them, and it paid for his wedding.
Nice.
Can you believe that?
Yeah.
We bought them very, very low. Then when my second child got married, we sold another third, and he got married. Now we have a third left for my daughter.
Perfect.
But they
Well done.
actually have gone up. So we're only talking about 13, 14 years that we have been collecting. And that was just a whim. It wasn't, we didn't think about
It wasn't an educated
It wasn't
call,
an
it was
educated,
just-
it was just,
yeah.
we've got a little bit of money.
It just happened.
We've got some in the bank, let's buy something. So it was 1999, it's come back to me, because 2000 was coming.
Yeah.
So I thought, let me buy some gold and silver coins for memorabilia for 1999. Then I bought in 2000, 2001. So I had collectible silver and gold coins. And they came in very useful.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
so I actually know that it works, and it did beat inflation. But historical fact, what's going to happen in the future, we can only guess. But it did work for me, personally. So I don't know if you had anything happen, or you know of people that have done that?
Certainly don't know any personal stories like that, but it's Kamil said, it's not actually a very complex education that you need to take on to understand
You
this.
don't need a degree
No,
in
no, no,
economics or
nothing
anything.
at all.
And
No.
in one video, there actually there's another two sets. Where I actually picked mine up, there was called The Goldsmith's Tale.
Okay.
It's a short series. Look it up on YouTube. I look everything up.
Everything's on
Everything's
YouTube.
on
Yeah,
YouTube.
yeah,
If you want to know
everything's on
anything,
YouTube.
every day.
And it's a
Google,
brilliant...
I used to use Google a lot, but now I like to actually physically watch someone make a video, and it's quicker.
Well, you know why? Because we're
I don't like reading.
We're exactly that.
We
We're
want
fundamentally
visuals.
lazy.
Yes.
And so if someone can sit there and do the work for us, that's why we love videos. But anyway, The Hidden Secrets of Money by Mike Maloney is a 25-minute video that
I saw the 2-minute and I saw the 25.
everybody
Brilliant.
should see it.
Brilliant.
Everybody
Everyone.
should see it.
And it's such an easy
and I think
education.
you'll get it from that, and you'll understand. Wow, if I don't make a move now, the fortune, the future, the wealth of my family going forward is in this leaky bucket, and if that's got holes in it, it's going to be nothing by the time.
And the money you got
left.
in the bank, the paper money, they can be taken
Exactly,
away.
Yeah.
It will just change into paper, yes.
Change back into paper.
So I think we need to come back to where we were earlier,
Yes.
understanding of where this cycle that's going on, and money that the banks, so they've lent so much money out, they need so much money back, so they need to keep lending, and so now it's chasing its tail. I mean, if we think about the US debt, it's on a clock this big, yeah?
Yes.
And it's compounding and it's compounding. This isn't conspiracy theory, this is maths.
No, it's
Compounding
fact.
it's fact.
It's fact.
Compounding interest on compounding. Well, at some point, the clock's got to go all the way around the world just to display all the numbers, correct? Because it just that obviously can't happen. So it has to go as historically all currencies have done, by their own design. They go, pop, they have to finish, and we have to start again. And people need to understand that that's the cycle
And on
we're
that
in.
currency, I think someone was doing some research into currency, starting with the letter A throughout history.
Yeah.
I
It's
think
a
the viewers
great-
would be interested in that.
Yeah, absolutely. There was a study done of all the currencies that have been through time.
We're not backed
That
by
weren't,
gold.
weren't backed.
We're not backed by gold.
And they were going to do it in alphabetical order. They started at A. By the time they'd got halfway through B, they'd found 600 currencies. Every single one of them had gone bust. And because it's just maths, it's compounding interest on something printed that's backed by Absolutely nothing.
I think it's worth saying, because to make it easier for people to understand, if you have only $1 in circulation ever, and you lend it to someone at an interest, where is the interest coming from?
Thin air.
It can't because there's only $1. So, so what needs to happen? I will then produce one more dollar, and I will lend it to you, and I will say, now we'll give it back to me
with interest,
because that's the interest. And then again, but you are still in debt because now you borrowed another dollar from me.
Yes.
So now you need to pay this back. So now I'll give you, I don't know, $3 more, and it just goes on forever.
This is how you can see how it just goes.
Good, good, excellent. Right. Now, I can't get over that note. I think, can I just have a look at that note?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Now, viewers, those who've just come back on board, this is the Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe $10 billion note. 10 billion, that's 10 notes.
Yeah, but it's a monopoly money. There is no difference between this bill.
It's got the watermark, everything. So how long will this be before the dollar or the pound or the euro? It happened in Germany.
It happened in Germany.
That's the most Western country I can think of.
Yeah, and I think people lose the association of that because that was in the 1900s. Oh, that can't happen again.
Yeah.
But it can. I mean, this year, 2000. I think the interesting thing is that they went from using $1 notes in 2007 to trillion, 10 trillion, 100 trillion, $100 trillion notes in 2008. In less than 2 years, they've gone. The rate of inflation. I saw something the other day. It was the rate of 10 to the power of 28, whatever that might mean. But it was boom. It was off the scale. So there's some great analogies out there. A can of Coke would have cost you $10 trillion in the morning. By night, it was $20 trillion. It was their rate of inflation was just doubling through the course of a 12-hour period. It was just going crazy. Yeah. And that's just how fast it goes. And you can imagine how's your economy going to stand something that's running that fast away? But isn't it interesting that I bet that at the times when it happened in Germany, it happened in Somalia, and it happened in Rwanda,
there
was a few people in the know.
SOS, Somalia.
SOS, they're shillings, yeah, SOS, how
SOS.
funny. But there would have been some people in the know would have known this money printing was going to go on. Because I think people do need to say that. Mike Maloney video, it shows you in there that every currency around the world has to do the same to keep up. So it's happening in India. It's happening in all of the countries that are printing money.
There's the exchange,
they have to keep up. It's called
international business.
So they all need to keep up on the same scale. Otherwise, they're going to get left behind.
Yeah. And there's Warren Buffett as well, wasn't there? Is he the richest, or was the richest man?
He was one of the richest, and I think he set up this foundation with Bill Gates.
Oh, with Bill Gates, right?
Yeah, is that right?
I'm not sure. Yeah. But all I remember is he actually bought a load of silver.
Yep.
And then sold it for, I think, 10, 20, 30 times.
Yeah, he knew what was happening. Yeah.
So he was in the know and one of the most astute businessmen there is.
Yeah.
And he was into silver and gold.
Yeah.
Instead of paper money. And of course, Robert Kiyosaki. Now, everyone knows Robert Kiyosaki, I think.
Yeah, well, if they don't know Robert Kiyosaki, they certainly know Donald Trump.
Yes.
And Robert Kiyosaki is a business partner in lots of their business actions. So these are two very guys, what we would say, are in the know. And I think Robert Kiyosaki has written a book, The Conspiracy of the Rich, and he's all written in conjunction with Mike Maloney about that silver, money, currencies, and where you should be, where and why you should be actually changing over. I think, as Kamil said, it's really important not to be picking up more IOUs, not to be buying certificates of
not
IOUs.
To be using your credit cards either.
well, not necessarily, because if you've got a lot of credit and the currencies go bust, suddenly your debt is worth nothing. So you don't know.
Are you sure?
I don't know. Will
they convert it into the new trillions, or will they leave it as the? If they leave it in the old money, it may be okay.
Because I've seen stuff and I've always thought that. I was thinking, that's got to be the way to go. But then I've seen other things that but it might have just been put out there by the big boys saying, oh no, you don't want to be carrying debt from old money into new currency. So I need to be very careful of that. Yes. But it does make logical sense that we'll...
But it might be a safe bet if you don't have money, buy silver and hold on to it for 10 years or 5 years and then sell it and pay all your debts and then have some more.
Well, the bit I like was buying 500 of these coins and then being able to buy a house with it.
Yeah.
Now, I think that
would be
at
lovely.
$22.
Yeah.
100 is 220, is it?
No,
or 10 is
2,000.
2,000.
So it would be 2,000.
So how much is 500 of these coins at $22?
10,000.
10,000
pounds. Yeah, dollars or pounds, let's say. Let's say pounds. For 10,000 pounds today
So
might buy you a house in 10 years. Who knows?
So just on that alone, for me,
Yeah.
you know, what's $22 times 500? You know, it's not, it's 10,000.
Yeah,
as you say.
absolutely. And
But I'll check on my calculator.
10,000
later.
or 100,000? I don't know.
Yeah.
10,000? I think
But
you're right.
I know it's
10,000.
but I
10,000.
don't know if it will be a house in London, but
Oh,
maybe
right.
somewhere close. Who knows?
No. So we are just trying to educate people not to put all their eggs into one basket, which
Yeah.
is just paper, and leave it in the bank. You
Yeah,
saw what
yeah.
happened in Cyprus.
Yeah.
Diversify a bit. Don't take our advice. Do your own research,
Yeah.
and take a bit of gold, a bit of silver,
Silver.
a bit of tangible assets.
Maybe stock market if you understand what you're doing.
No, stock markets.
No?
No.
No,
Forex.
okay,
no.
I
No.
wouldn't-
No.
no. It's all manipulated.
Fair enough, yes.
Yeah. But if you're in the know and you know how to do it, and you're in the team, but otherwise you'll be losing. Well, in my opinion, I think you'll be losing money unless you really
Know what you're doing, yeah.
Yeah.
Do a business where you can add value and you can charge a bit more. Buy wholesale, sell retail, and add value. So that's simple.
Or buy a business. If you have some money, buy another business that's generating actually profit.
That's right. Now, coming back to you, you actually work with Ron G. Holland quite a lot. So tell us a little bit about
full-time,
that.
actually. Okay, so I started working with Ron almost 2 years ago. So I mean, I've known Ron for longer, and he just said, Kamil, I've got this project, let's do something together. And I said, okay, yeah. And the adventure started. And so what we do, we help various businesses explode, as we like to say, or go through the roof.
Wow.
So we have businessmen coming to us with various problems, challenges they have, and we help them. And it can be someone who's got a book and he wants to take it to the next level, and we create the book as a product, and we take it to a publisher, help him explode it. Or it can be a business that's looking for, let's say, £100 million to finance the project that they're running, which can be some technological advances for I don't want to say specifically what, but it can be something with electricity or with cars. And we help them actually find that money and also build a business plan and marketing plan around this as well. So that's what we do, and it's lots of fun working with Ron. We have a very strong team, and I think we are the best people for the job, actually.
Excellent. And you're doing a lot of work, as we mentioned at the beginning, with eyes and charity and cataracts. And I'll be looking at those drops as well. How are you getting on with that outside the UK?
Yeah, it's a challenging thing, and so we have lots of developments with people that have to set up outside of the EU, and yeah, because we hit a lot of challenges. Because obviously it's a natural thing, which means the great big pharma industry can't get hold of it and put their stamp on it. So that's why it faces a lot of the challenges. But it's a life-changing deal, and it's where I'm at to make sure it gets out there.
Right. So you need to publicise that a bit more. And for everyone, you know, our guests' names, their website, and their details will be on the Health Wealth website, so you can contact them directly. All our previous programs, guests are on there, as you know, on IQRA.TV. You can go there, you can have it on your smartphones, you can go to the website, you can watch these programs over and over again, you can watch previous programs, you can watch other programs that we do. So we're coming to winding up. So some last words of wisdom. What can people take back, and what sort of action would you recommend that they take, Mark?
Let's start with don't believe a word we've said, and go and validate it all yourself.
I like that.
Go
yes.
and validate it all
Absolutely.
yourself.
Yes.
It's all there for you to have that education and see, wow, this is so true. Through our great friend YouTube, go and take in, look in the eyes of people that have the knowledge, follow names, Robert Kiyosaki, Mike Maloney, understand where money has come from, the currencies, and
So right, just validate everything we've said.
validate.
Come on.
Okay, so last words, I would say, as Mark, do your own research, but take it with urgency, because the times are kind of really making, I mean, there is there are big things happening in the world, and we really need to take steps to protect ourselves, and the sooner the better. Have a peace of mind, do not worry, but take action, be urgent, and take action, yes.
Take action and appropriate action. Well, thank you very much for watching Health Wealth and with my guests. And inshallah, we'll see you next Wednesday. This program will be repeated on Friday and Saturday at 3 o'clock. Take care until next time. Allah Hafiz.